If you win the Super Bowl, could you envision a scenario where you stop playing football and take your chances at the NBA?
Who's to say? I don't rule anything out. I mean, anything can happen.
How does basketball compare for you to the NFL?
I mean, basketball is total excitement. It's such an entertaining game. I mean, it's always something, up and down the court. I mean, you're going to be involved on both ends. It's not like football where, you just play offense and that's it. Unless, you're throwing an interception has been thrown, then you're on the defensive end of it. But basketball, I mean, you got to play on both ends of the floor, and it's a lot of excitement. It's a lot of excitement playing defense when you can block a guy's top or steal a ball, and then you're on the offensive side just that quick. You can go down and pop a three, dunk it. I mean, it's showtime.
So how about if you don't win the Super Bowl? I mean, is that something you'd still really like to try your chances at?
Well, I think I had an opportunity this year to, with the Kings. They invited me out to Las Vegas to their camp. Unfortunately, the Eagles didn't release me to go out and participate in that. So who's to say what's to happen, after this year?
You say you regret playing in that Super Bowl. Why?
I would say just from the reasons of me putting my career on the line, and then my agent going in trying to get what I deserve. As far as a contractual situation. Obviously, he thought I deserved more. Once he looked over my contract from my former agent, and I've always felt that way. I never really have made that top dollar, being one of the top guys in the league. So I just felt like it was worth it, and I just felt disrespected when they didn't even acknowledge him at all, or even just take heed to anything. They just kind of blew it off.
You've also said the Eagles made you sign this secret waiver, essentially barring them from any financial responsibility if you were injured. They openly deny it. Take me through what happened.
Well, I mean, like I said, I know there was a waiver that we talked about. Obviously, they're saying they have no knowledge of it, so it's not something phantom that that I've made up. So, like I said, if they're saying that just to save face, then that's what they have to live with.
Why do you think they deny it?
Not sure. But why would I openly say that I signed the waiver? Because it would have released them of any liability if had I gotten hurt in the Super Bowl. Because number one, the doctor didn't medically clear me, so if anything would have happened, they would have been responsible for it.
Is that frustrating for you that then the organization almost tries to make you out to be the villain?
Well, I mean, I've said it and I've heard it, and if you align expectations, with reality, then you'll never be disappointed. So at this particular time and point in my career and things that have happened, since training camp, I expect the worst.
Mm-hmm. You've said you always have a passion to win, but sometimes that passion is misdiagnosed by people. How so?
I mean, there are a number of ways. Just even just the way that I score touchdowns and I celebrate. And at one particular point in time in my career, especially in San Francisco, I remember commentators saying I should just get in the end zone and just act like I've been there before, and probably because I had played with one of the greatest receivers of all time in Jerry Rice, and that's what he did, and they always talked about Barry scoring so many touchdowns and he doesn't do anything. But now, I have a good friend in Chad Johnson who does it, and now it's like, everybody's applauding it. You know what I mean? So it's almost like I feel like sometimes it's me against the world.
You just recently scored your 100th career passing touchdown reception, puts you in remarkably elite company. Only you and Marvin Harrison are the two active players to have accomplished the feat. What does it mean for you?
I didn't really think too much of it. Obviously it's a great accomplishment, and I guess if I look, down the road, sometime I'll look back on it and see how special it is. But to me, it was just another touchdown. I expect to score touchdowns, every week. I think there are some opportunities that through the course of my career, I should have already reached 100. So it doesn't really bother me. I just feel like it shows you obviously the talent that I have to play this game, and I like to compete.
Obviously, it's not necessary, but everyone likes to be complimented. Everyone likes to be congratulated for accomplishing something. And heck, you did something that only 5 other players in the whole history of the NFL have done. So how surprised were you then when the Eagles just made no public acknowledgement of it?
Probably just like the statement that I said a while ago. It's just like if you align expectations with reality, then you'll never be disappointed. And that right there just shows you the type of the class and the integrity of an organization that they claim, not to be. They claim to be first class and, the best organization. I just felt like it was an embarrassment. Like I said, it just showed the lack of class that they had. And they, my publicist talked to our head PR guy, and he made an excuse about, they didn't recognize or they didn't realize that, that was coming up. But I know that was a blatant lie, because had it been somebody else, they probably would have popped fireworks around the stadium. I think as a head PR guy, those are the type of things that they keep up with. So, it wasn't a reason for them not to acknowledge it.
And I was at that game, and they announced it in the press box, but just not on the stadium loudspeakers. Did you realize it at the time? No, not at all. I didn't really, like I said, I didn't really pay attention to it. I just once the game was over, some people had called me, and obviously I talked to my publicist, and it was just people just saying that it's a shame that they didn't acknowledge it. I had on my website, I had a doctor to send me an email, and he just he wished me well. He complimented me on the 100th touchdown, and he just said it was an embarrassment to the organization. Here's a guy who's, I guess he said he's been an Eagles fan for 33 years. He said he pays $14,000 for his season tickets. He brought his 5-year-old daughter to the game, and to be honest, he was outraged, at the lack of class that they showed. What do you make of the Eagles' 4-3 start this season?
I think a lot of the injuries have played a big part into some of our losses, and I just honestly feel if Donovan wasn't hurt as he was, we would probably our record would probably indicate a little bit better.
Donovan's obviously had trouble throwing, especially deep. He didn't complete any of his first 12 passes versus Denver. How has that affected the team?